I know I told you guys at one point that I would review Allegiant by Veronica Roth, this book right here. And I said that I was going to try and reread it before I reviewed it, but that never happened because I got way too busy. Well, this is not a review of sorts, it's just to say that I still have book hangover. And what that means is I'm still sad. I am still just like so upset over this book. I can't get over it. With the movie coming out, I thought, like, for a while after I read this book, I didn't know how I was going to be able to watch the movie. Because I was thinking, how can I go sit and watch this movie knowing what I know after this book? How can I view these characters the same way when ultimately I know the end? And about around December, I lost that view and I just started getting really excited for the movie. But then this past weekend, I've just not been able to get over it. I'm sitting here thinking, how can I sit through this movie, which I'm going to see Thursday night with a ton of friends, when I know that Tris dies and that Four is ultimately going to be left alone, and I'm still going to be sitting here going, I have lost my best friend. I know it may seem silly to people who are non-readers, but you have to understand that these books are not small, first off. Do you see this? This book is over 500 pages long. The first one is just under 500, and the middle one, Insurgent, is over 500 pages. In fact, I had the collector's edition, and it's close to 600. We have been through so much with these characters. We have been through months of hardship and getting to know them. We know these characters inside and out. They're our best friends. I mean, these books changed how I thought about fear and courage and bravery and selflessness. And seeing the person who, because I don't even consider Tris a character, I consider her a real life person that I could go to, that's just like a pen pal or something that lives far away. I mean, this book changes you, and this series is just, it's life-changing. And I know a lot of people say that, but if you don't read it, then you have no idea what I'm saying. You can't understand if you haven't read it. And I think ultimately you won't understand you won't understand the same way I understand it, because everyone's going to interpret a book differently. It's just very hard after we've gone through so much, just so much. It is so hard to believe that this person that I have come to believe that when I'm sad or upset or I'm mad or I'm done with life, I can look back at what I've read and experienced with her, and I can go, okay, here is how Tris reacted. What can I learn from that, and how can I apply it to the situation I'm in? And it helps. It truly helps. So when she passes on, it was a shock. It was heartbreaking, because I was one of those people who had hope that even though we had 2 points of view in the last book, that Tris and Four would ultimately be okay. I thought that they would be separated. I thought, we would be given scares, but that we would keep our 2 characters and that we would have a good, solid, happy ending where, they had kids and they were broken to, they'd be the most broken people ever, but they would still be okay. And that doesn't happen. And what was especially hard is that not only in this book do we see Tris die, and not only do we see how she dies, we also see Four's reaction. And they might as well have been married because they were so close. I mean, they were made for each other and they were perfect and beautiful. And when that was taken, I see it as like, Four's other half was taken. I mean, there are couples, that in young adult fiction, they need each other, and you can see that, but they don't complete each other, if you understand what I'm saying. They don't complete each other like Four and Tris do. I mean, their two names put together, Fortress, make the word fortress like, a standing, solid structure that is there and is solid, like a fortress or a castle. I mean, they were strong in one unit. And to see them gone, it's just hard. Because not only do we see Tris die, we see For's reaction when everything is taken from him. And we see him contemplating whether to take Tris away completely because it hurts him so much. It would have been heart-wrenching if it was left there. But what made it even worse is that the epilogue is Tris's funeral and her ashes. And it is so hard for me, especially, just to imagine this, especially the epilogue, because it's forcing me to come to terms with the fact that this person that I know and love is gone, and her body is no longer in the world anymore. It's just a pile of ashes in a jar. And the way the funeral was done, it's perfect. I mean, her funeral could not have gone any other way. I would have been heart-rent. I would have not been able to live if her funeral wasn't any other way. But, it's just, she's gone, and I can't believe she is, and I need her back. And even though I read this book 2 days after it came out, I am still sad. I can't even deal with it right now. Tris became my family, and she's not here anymore, and that makes me sad. So, I'm sorry that this video was very disheartening, and it was basically me mourning, and I know it's probably not what you expected. I mean, I still love this series, and I do love Allegiant. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It deserves a top-notch rating. It's just hard to deal with as a reader and as a person. So, I hope that you go watch, like, some furry kittens, or go watch some, like, comedy videos or something to make you happier. But this is how I feel, and I just feel like I needed to get it off my chest. And in a sense, I'm fulfilling what I said I would do way back in the past. Thanks, guys. Bye.